Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. A very warm welcome to our loyal viewers and our friends at E360 TV. Hello to all our friends on our normal social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. Today's topic will be a very, very interesting one, and one that I'm sure that you'll gain lots of insights from. Managing emotions and expectations, navigating the holiday season. This is particularly prevalent for people in the UK as we're preparing for Christmas, and in America and Canada as you prepare for Thanksgiving, as well as all the other social holidays that we normally have. I'm Caroline Heward, and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. I'm your TV presenter and host for tonight's show, and I'm also the resident therapist for USA Global TV and Radio. I'm joined today, I'm not alone, I'm joined today by another panelist. Wonderful Reverend Lydia is joining us, and she's coming all the way from snowy Canada. Let's bring Reverend Lydia FOUGERES through. Hello.
Hello, Caroline. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. Very nice.
Reverend Lydia, please do share with our viewers a little bit about what you do and if there's anything new that you're working on right now.
Well, I'm a reverend to start with. I am a retired registered nurse and holistic nurse. I am an author. I wrote the series 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey. It is on Amazon and on my website also. I also am an intuitive healer, I balance chakras, and also I am a medium from birth. So that is pretty much the resume of who I am. I work in English and in French. I am fluent in French also. So that is pretty much what I do and what I am.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And for myself, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people to bust their stress. How do I do that? I do that through using root cause therapy and chakra psychology. And I identify the root cause that creates the initial repeating pattern of stress, whether it be emotional, physical, mental, or behavioral. I also help people move from a place of internal stress and trauma to a place of internal peace, internal and external peace, and in their own bodies and in their own connections and in their own relationships. And essentially, I help people break through the patterns that create their everyday stress. What's new for me? Well, I'm going to be speaking in London and in the Kensington Hilton Hotel on Saturday, the 30th of November, with one of my old-time dear friends and promoters, and I'm going to be talking about how to bust your stress. And I'm really looking forward to sharing the stage with a number of wonderful other extraordinary experts, and also I'm looking forward to the first time of being live on stage for quite a long time now, rather than being behind a screen. So that's me. Without further ado, let's bring out Reverend Lydia and let's move into the topic. So our topic is managing emotions and expectations, navigating the holiday season. So there's quite a lot. It's a very chunky subject, this is. So I'd like to start with managing emotions. What are the most common emotional challenges during the holiday season that you're aware of, Reverend Lydia, for what you experience and what you know others experience?
Well, for me, it is easy because I'm a happy person. No matter the holiday, I spend them alone. Well, not this year, but usually I do spend them alone. But what I see of people that actually call me or talk to me, they actually say that it's nostalgia, sadness. They feel they're emotional about what could have happened or what they did not do. That is the way they feel. They want to go back in the past, which they cannot change at all. So that is the way people see the holidays, Thanksgiving, when it comes to negative feelings. But we are lucky that most people see the holidays and Thanksgiving and the holidays as a positive event. So we have to think that not everyone has someone to spend the holidays with. We have to think about those that are lonely, alone, sad. We have to think about them. And if possible, we could even include someone that is excluded from a group. We could add someone that it does not really matter whether they have their in the family or not. We could have them. Does not make a difference. If there's enough for 7, there's enough for 8 at the table. So that is pretty much.
Oh, that's wonderful, Reverend Lydia. How lovely. I love that. Can I come to dinner?
Yeah, absolutely.
I might have to travel a little bit. I really resonated with some of the things that you mentioned about the fact that some people are in the past, very much so that I feel that in these kind of times that it is a reflection, and certainly if there's people in the family that have passed on, that this is also a time to remember them and a time to almost be sad at the fact that they're not sitting at the table. And that's something that my family are sitting at the table and remembering my baby brother not being there at the table. And also the going into the past it stops us from being in the moment of the experience that we're in. And I very much resonate with you that it's so easy to step back into those past conversations. And that certainly is, from my perspective, an emotional challenge for many families, many people getting together for Christmas, especially if there's challenges and emotional trauma in the family, or the family members don't get on. And that was something else that I was going to bring up, that sometimes, we don't choose our families, and families don't always get on. In fact, I would say that families tend to know which buttons to press, and it's not always easy to navigate those types of conversations. And I feel that sometimes it's much better to, if somebody is looking at the past in terms of their conversation, to focus them in what's happening now, in what's happening and what's going to happen, so that it brings people to be present. And I feel that that is the only way to be, because, as you've mentioned, you can't change the past. You can't change something that's happened, and you can't actually predict what's going to happen, so living in the future. But you can do something about being in the very moment of the moment that you're in, about being happy. And this challenge of families getting together, there's also a huge pressure to be happy and to be performing. What are your thoughts about that, Reverend Lydia, in terms of needing to feel that you have to be happy and you might not feel happy?
Well, I would be hypocritical. I would really be a hypocrite if I would say that I try to be happy because I actually stay home alone. I do not play cards. I do not play bingo games or things like that. So I'm not a person that really enjoys those kinds of games, and my family does enjoy them. So I do stay at home, and I read during the holidays. I do that. So at New Year's Eve, I am alone. Christmas, I am alone. I stay alone, and I am actually extremely happy, which is odd for many people because they think I am some kind of loner. But it is a choice. It is a choice that I want to be happy, and I do not want to put a face or a facade just to make others happy. So I think that I make others happy by actually not making them believe that I am, because they would think I'm just playing the game, and they know that I'd rather be home and read and be calm in my home than being surrounded by noisy people. So that is the way I do it. So I invite people that do not feel like playing the game of being happy to enjoy their own company instead. They do not have to do it. It's not an obligation to actually make believe that you're happy. The important thing is that you are happy. That is the way it is, whether they like it or not.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Exceptionally, thank you for your huge transparency and for being so vulnerable in your share. I really appreciate that, and I'm sure our audience do too. And it is a choice, as you've mentioned. And I choose to spend it with my family, even though it's crazy at times. It's all about the meal. It's all about making, me and my mum spend a lot of hours preparing the Christmas lunch for the family and for the nieces and nephews. And, we have a lot of people around the table, and it is a lot of work. for 1-2 people, and to make sure just to serve everybody at the same time so the food is hot. It is such, you're smiling and laughing, and it really is a big deal, to make sure that if you're serving 8-10 people, that all the food comes out and we're all eating at the same time and it's all hot, and we're still working out how to do it because we don't have things that keep it hot, so we're literally bringing it out of the oven and serving it. So that is one of the challenges when you're serving a huge family. And I also feel a challenge for me particularly is when I'm because I prepare goose, and I cook it from fresh, and create and prepare the stuffing. So I do homemade stuffing, and then I watch it, and then I sort of prepare the roasters from the goose fat. And I know this sounds a bit mundane, but it's a lot of work, and then it's devoured in minutes. It sort of doesn't seem to be there for very long. And at the same time, I do feel a sense of satisfaction and a sense of pride that I did it. I actually managed to get everything done, and the goose came okay and the roasters came okay, because I have landed up overdoing some because I've left it in the oven too long, especially the roast potatoes. But I really look forward to the pleasing comments and the applaud from my family members of how much they're enjoying it. So that is something that I do, and I do live alone. So this is something for me, going from being alone and being quiet to going into quite a noisy environment where TVs are on in every room, and it's very busy. And at the same time, it's sometimes for me something that I look forward to, because it's a really nice time for me to see the family, even though there are challenges about making sure that everything gets done in time. So I've just shared with you an extremely busy and an active share in terms of the challenges, and yet at the same time I feel a reward by being there. What are your thoughts about what I've just shared, Reverend Lydia?
Well, I think that is amazing, because I remember the times when I used to go. My mother is a champion. She cooks like a deity. She can do everything perfect. So I have nothing to say about that. My mother is a very, very, very good cook, and she's a nice person, actually. So the thing is that I am not as good as her, and I am the kind of person that burns food a lot. So I am not known for being such a good cook, so I do not do it. But I do enjoy, but there were times when things were different. My sister now lives in United States, in the state of Florida. My other brother lives at the other end of Canada. So we are all over. So our family, my siblings, we are all over. So it's pretty difficult. My One of my brothers works for an airline, so he can never be there. Sometimes he's in London, sometimes he's in China. So we never know when one of us will be there. So it's very difficult to plan those events, I have to admit. So it's a challenge for my mother to cook for everyone. And then all of a sudden, there's someone that calls, I can't make it, I cannot go, I'm too far, I cannot make the ride, work needs me. So, and as you said, some people have passed. So it is something. So yes, I do a bit. Yes, I do miss a little bit of those times when we were struggling to serve everything hot. But at the same time, sometimes families have moved around so much that it is absolutely impossible to do it. We cannot be there. Our schedules are crazy and we are all over. But for me, this year, it's my first year after 15 years that I'm starting over. I'm going back to the crazy thing. And I'm delighted, actually. I'm delighted that I'm changing my routine. And whatever I do, even if I burn the food, they will just say, I tried. That is all. That is the only comment I will get. So they will say, I tried.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that you're being so genuinely honest about it. I think that I really enjoy doing the cooking, even though it's stressful and, you know, everything has to be done timely. I do enjoy it because I enjoy seeing the finished product, even though it's devoured very quickly. I do love the fact that they did enjoy it. So, Reverend Lydia, what strategies can people use to maintain emotional balance? Because obviously, you know, you've described the fact that your family is very disparate and in different places. And that would be the fact for many people. And sometimes you can get together and sometimes you can't. But when the families do get together, can you make any suggestions in terms of what people can do to maintain the balance of managing the holiday stressors, such as family tensions or financial strain? Because in our current changed times, there is financial strain upon many families who are struggling to do the things that they used to do. So have you got any thoughts or things to share with our viewers as to how to manage the holiday stressors?
Well, rule number one is when you walk in the house, you forget about your cell phone. You just shut it off. You turn it off. That is all. You're with your family. You're not with other people. And what I do encourage when people are really apart, like we're talking about countries, we can have video chats so that everyone has a time where we're all together, even if we're not in the same country. We can have video chats. So that's a good way to stay in contact. This is a very good way. There is also, for those that are struggling or alone, there are several helplines. Those are really important that people know that they have helplines. If there's something, if they're struggling, they have to be able to call. Those are very busy times for helplines, and they have to use them. It's very important. Sometimes you just take the telephone and just call someone. If you're alone, just call someone. That is all. And it takes sometimes only 10 minutes. You talk with someone 10 minutes and it's over and you feel so much better. Sometimes you just call someone like me. And even if I have 5-7 minutes to spare, at least I can spare them. And someone like you help. You're a helper. So there are always people like you, people like me that are there to help others to go through those difficult times when they are difficult. When people are having fun, they're not thinking about helplines or other things like that. But when they are struggling, they have human beings like you, like me, that care. Even if we're in the middle of something, we care and we answer.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And I totally agree with you. And that's something that I hadn't thought about mentioning. So yes, helplines. This is definitely a time that I experience a lot more calls, and people, especially if they are alone or they've fallen into difficulties and they can't be with their family, this is a time that becomes difficult. And it's a time that usually, I think that things like social media, Facebook, show families and pictures, and sometimes it can almost make you feel very sad to see other people having fun. It's almost like what you're seeing and realizing that you don't have that. And so this is important to know that there is outside people that can help, and it's only a phone call away. I'm now going to look at, when the families are together and if there is tension and there is stress and difficult relationships within the family around the lunch table. And one of the tips that I would give is to make sure that you keep everything light. Even if you're not feeling it, when you're not feeling that you are looking forward to it or looking forward to the situation of being with the family, if there are any stressors or difficulties with other family members, is to make sure that you stay away from those difficult or touchy subjects. And one of the subjects that I would stay away from is particularly in times of change and stress, that people tend to gain weight. And so if you do turn around and say, no, you put a few pounds on, that is definitely going to get the other person's back up. So refrain from using those kinds of comments and leading into conversations about weight. But rather looking at what you do know about them, or maybe discuss a TV program or something that's easy for everyone to join in. Certainly when I was always being with the family, and I never miss a Christmas with my family, the focal point, because I live in the UK, was the Queen's speech. And so when we were young, we would all wait for the Queen's speech, and then we would have lunch and we would discuss the Queen's speech and some of the things, obviously now the Queen has passed away. So this is something that has been taken away from people in the UK, because there's a lot of royalty around the fact that the Queen made a speech, and it didn't feel quite the same when she wasn't there. And then we had King Charles making the speech. It felt different, and we sort of forgot about it, and then we got busy with making lunch. The other thing that I feel is really, really important is to make sure that even if you've had a difficult year, to focus and share the things that are positive about your year, things that are good, because whatever we're feeling grateful for, we always create more of. So even if you are challenged with your family, find one thing to compliment about the food, one thing to compliment about each person, and you're set to raise the frequency and the vibration, and you're setting the scene to have a much better time. So Reverend Lydia, I'd like to ask, commercialism, Christmas and Thanksgiving has become extremely commercialized. Even for us, we didn't used to celebrate Halloween in the way that we're celebrating it now. And I think that we've taken a leaf out of America's playbook, and we've really ramped up our celebrations around Halloween. So there is an expectation, there is requirements in terms of showing up and delivering a program of things and inviting people around. And there is this huge, gift cards and gifts. And I feel that it's become the holiday seasons, like Easter for us is really big in the UK. It's become very, very commercialized. And I wonder if, from my perspective, that we've sort of lost the meaning behind some of these very big focused celebrations. What are your thoughts, Reverend Lydia, in terms of how it heightens emotional struggles in the demise of high levels of commercialism?
Well, you are absolutely right about how commercial everything has become. As for us, we are finished with Thanksgiving because we're in Canada. So we had Thanksgiving in October. We are not at the same time as the US. Here in Canada, Thanksgiving is a little more about the harvest, and about thanking for what we have received. So it's not as commercial, I would say, as in other places. We do have a tendency to keep it simple without making it really complicated, turkey, things like that. So we do make it a little simple, well dressed, but at least simple. And we actually enjoy one another company. It is more about thanking, and we just look at the moon and things like that. We really enjoy the mood and the harvest a lot, because Canada is pretty much, it's a great country, but actually there's not 300 million people in Canada. There's 30 million people. So we have more of that harvest spirit still. We do still have it. But when it comes to Christmas, we're like any other country. It's running around shopping centers. We lost the meaning of Christmas. The meaning of Christmas is to be together. It's not about exchanging gifts and the whole thing, and who will have a new Louis Vuitton bag. But this is about gifts now. It's not about being happy and being together and celebrating the fact that we are together. It is not that anymore. And now you have families that they just do not have the money because of the recession that is there. There's no more huge presents, and people are ashamed of what they give or what they receive, and they have lost control over the holidays, because the holidays have become so commercial that they are scared to say, oh, well, I had a scarf for Christmas, which is a gift. And if your mother made you a scarf, well, you should be grateful because she took the time to do the scarf. So that is the way it is. And if she did not even have to do the scarf, she was just there loving you. That is the way she did it. So they lost the meaning of Christianity, of celebrating what is Christmas about, because Christmas is about Jesus and being together after all. So it becomes about Santa Claus now, not about Jesus. So Santa Claus has become more important than Jesus. That is the way I see it.
I was nodding my head through your entire share just now, Reverend Lydia, and I so celebrate you for bringing these very, very difficult things up, because you're right in terms of our changed times that many people are struggling financially and can't afford to do the gifting, and so it becomes if somebody spends £20 and you get them something that's a much smaller gift, how is it received? How is it thought of? And my perspective on that is to be honest, is to say if there is difficulties, and this is something that I'm sure many people feel, sort of, I give you, so you give me, and it perpetuates that cycle of getting into financial difficulties when you don't really have the money. And one of the things that I would invite people to consider is sharing the perspective of, it's been a bit of a difficult year. So would you mind if we didn't swap presents this year and instead bring something to the family meal or to participate? Let's make it about connection rather than making sure that we've bought something really expensive that we can't really afford. And I feel that it's about an integrity of honesty, of saying, no, I can't play that game anymore, setting some very firm boundaries. And at the same time, I feel that when you do set those kind of boundaries and say that you have financial difficulties, that the other person might be feeling grateful that you shared, that you didn't need, you would prefer not to do a present for present, and this year if we just met up. And I feel the same as you, that Christmas particularly, it's being overtaken by Santa Claus and how many presents that the children have, and not taking away that surprise. I do feel, from my perspective, it is about coming together, connecting and sharing a meal together and sharing time. And it's a time for families to come together if they can. And I've certainly seen a lot of families coming together online too. So yes, I'm quite in agreement with you. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. Can you believe it, Reverend Lydia? It's unbelievable how fast that time has gone. So before we finish, I do want to share some insights, some hot tips. So do you have one hot tip that you could share, Reverend Lydia, in terms of how mindfulness could create a better way to experience your holiday season?
Well, mindfulness, yes. The thing is that you always have to think about what the other is going through. You have to think that it's not your perspective, it's their perspective. So you do not know what is happening in their life. So you cannot assume according to your life. So if they're not responding the way you like, well, forget it, because it's their life, not yours. So if they are living something that you do not understand, well, I suggest that I'm not talking to you personally, Caroline. I suggest that the person that is seeing someone act in a such and such way mind their own business, because they do not know the explanation to the way the person is acting, and instead be loving and grateful and help that person. If they do something that you don't agree with, well, maybe help instead of judge.
Oh, wow. You've stolen all my lines.
I'm sorry.
I'm in agreement with everything that you said. And I would like to add one more thing to that, Reverend Lydia, and that is compassion. I think that sometimes we forget about being compassionate to the other. So be there for the other person. And it's amazing how much they will get from it. And if you're being kind to the other person, they then become kind to you. So I love what you've shared, Reverend Lydia. Amazing. So before we finish the show, please, Reverend Lydia, share how people can contact you and what's the best way to reach you.
Well, the way to contact me is through my email, greatdivinemother@gmail.com. My phone number is 1-514-582-6882, 1-514-582-6882. And there is my website, www.lydiafougere.com. There are my books that you can actually buy on Amazon also. And there's my Facebook page also. There's my author Facebook page, but I also welcome anyone who desires to contact me on my personal Facebook page. And it is the one where I have a hunter cat, because I just finished hunting. So I welcome everyone to try to join me, because I do my best. I answer everyone. So I do my best. Or at Diva Divine Mother on Instagram, under such.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And for myself, you can reach me on No More Stress at live.co.uk. You can also reach me on my social media platforms. Facebook and LinkedIn are my preferred platforms. And you can also reach me on call, which is, if it's international, +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. It's a UK number. And also, I look forward to helping you bust your stress. I'm here, especially in holiday times, to help you break through the patterns that are creating your responses, that are creating your stress. Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia Fougeres. It's been an amazing show, and I am really looking forward to a Woman's Prerogative Part 2. So I'll be back shortly at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time. But before we go, I want to share with you to subscribe, be an exclusive community, VIP community member of our first access to our newest videos, photographs and insights of the British royal family. It's our VIP exclusive community. It's live streamed on USA Global TV and radio and YouTube. So please do subscribe to our VIP exclusive community. And I look forward to seeing you very shortly. And I look forward to seeing you next week on A Woman's Prerogative, which is every Monday. This show is 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and part 2 of A Woman's Prerogative is 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Thank you very much, and thank you so much, Reverend Lydia Fougeres, for your incredible contributions, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. And now over to our sponsors.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette. building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.